I guess maybe that's something I can ask. Like, where does this even come from? Like, some people probably would say it comes from the relationship, because if you're in a narcissistic or toxic relationship, part of that is there's the devaluation, right? It's not all blissful and idyllic, right? That there are, of course, moments, many moments of where you're feeling completely diminished or devalued in some way.
Yeah.
So I think some people would say, well, it comes from the narcissistic partner, right? And I'm wondering if that's the way you see it. I know in my field, we like to think of history a little bit more and say that it's probably a little deeper than that. But I guess in just from the mindfulness perspective, is it like where is it coming from, or does it not really matter? I guess as long as we're trying to be self-compassionate.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it maybe goes back to whether or not it matters. I think goes back to that idea of the square, right? And
Mm,
like how much this is impacting your experience. If you're running into this again and again and again and again and again, where you're devaluing yourself or you're having the tendency to just really be harsh. I think that's a point at which, like from a mindfulness perspective, we can let it go all day long. But if it keeps coming, that's a sign that we need to dig a little deeper, you know, and as you're
oh, okay.
suggesting, look at it from like a historical standpoint, try to understand why maybe this is tripping us up continually or why it's
Yeah.
getting in the way of our growth. One of the tools that I love is the thought river. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it.
No, please tell us.
So the thought river is the idea that your brain is like a river of thoughts. So there's just like constantly, you know, down this river there are all these different thoughts
Hmm.
flowing. And we don't always know like what's upstream from, you know, like the thought river is being populated by like our history, our
Yeah.
experiences, all of those things. And so we at any point in the day might find ourselves like kind of drowning in the river of our thoughts, and like we're just like kind of, you know, trying to come up for air, and we're just
Hmm.
getting like whacked around by all these thoughts that are just floating down the river. At any point in time we are able to stand up and like walk to the side of the river and sit down on a rock and watch the thoughts go by.